You need to do this now before the next fish update. If you want to make billions, and there's actually a reason why you need to do this now, really than any other time in the entire history of fish. And that is because as of recently, they've actually done a thing where they're now going to be kind of nerfing the economy. And what I mean by that is they're trying to make it less inflated. They're trying to make it where if you have $1 million, it's actually worth a lot more, or it's like, it has its own value. Like, because you know what I mean? Like I have 800 million right now. $1 million isn't that much. And you can make $1 million really, really quickly. So you need to do what I'm about to say to make a ton of money. And here's why. They're going to make everything more expensive. I'm assuming. I'm not too sure about this. I'm not too sure exactly how they're going to go about making your money worth more and deflate the economy. But if you did play in the last update, you would know that they did a huge black market thing. And basically the entire point of that, sure, was you could go buy all the rods before they never come back in the game. But it was also to get you to spend your billions to buy it. That way you obviously are out of money. And when they make the nerf happen where it is harder to get money, it balances out the economy, which is the entire point of it. They give you these rods in order to decrease your money. So you need to follow these methods to get a ton of money before they try to nerf everything and deflate the economy. So the very first thing you need to do is obviously make sure you're utilizing your aquariums. I mean, I think everyone knows this by now. Mine makes around 3 million an hour. I know there's people out there that are making a lot more with different methods. I'm not really going in depth into the methods in this video, but there's a ton of different ways you can increase the value of your aquariums, especially by like appraising at the treasure island to make them way more and getting all these crazy mutations on them. The next thing is angler quests. Now I want to show you these a little bit more in depth because I know you've probably seen a lot of videos on this, but this is genuinely broken. So I'm going to head back to Moosewood real quick. I believe I can do that with the mirror. All right, I just teleported back. You need to complete 50 of these angler quests before you can do it. So just keep that in mind. But then you're going to want to head down to, I believe, I don't know if it's an area in the, it's an area in the Crimson Cavern. And there's basically an angler there. And basically you're going to want to rejoin until he has the white arrow above his head. And then after he has the white arrow above his head, you'll be able to get these things, these fish, and give it to him. So they're usually going to be like exotic or secret fish that you're going to fish up. And then you're going to want to obviously appraise them. Make sure you have a really good mutation on them, preferably a mutation that makes them weigh a lot more. And obviously that's going to be the most important part is the weight, because the heavier they are, the more money is going to give you, and then multipliers on them if possible. So that method is really, really overpowered. I don't know how long that's going to stay as overpowered. I know you can get like 50 to 100 million per fish, depending on how you do it, maybe potentially even more. So the angler quest method is kind of broken. I know a lot of people have been talking about that recently. The next thing is this other area that a lot of people haven't seen. And this is an area you need to be fishing in if you're, especially if you AFK macro, this is a great area to fish in if you have the right rods and all of that. But let me just show you. So a lot of people may disagree with this, say that there's better spots. But I personally have been using this to get a ton of money, especially during admin abuse and stuff like that. So if we head over to Terrapin Island, or not Terrapin Island, it's Castaway Cliffs right here. If we go to Castaway Cliffs, you're going to see a little pond that we can actually fish in. And it's actually pretty good. So once I get all the way over here, you will see what I'm talking about. Boom. Let's just hop out and jump up here. Now, this is where I have been fishing recently, and it is a pretty good spot. And as you can see, these people are obviously fishing here too, because it is also a pretty good spot. So this, if you get a bunch of mutations, I would recommend going here with the tryhard rod, because it's going to give you a times, I think 17 money value multiplier. And then any other mutation, obviously you can get on it is going to be helpful, but you can make a ridiculous amount of money from the spot. It's kind of underrated. And usually it's like for beginners or whatever, but really this zone is just good overall. The fish aren't too hard to catch, and you're going to make a ton of money. So genuinely this spot right here in and of itself is worth it, especially if you're trying to make money. Now, the next thing I want to say is, obviously, if you haven't already seen, the next fish update is called the Mystery at Sunstone. And basically the description of it is Merlin has run into trouble and the consequences are already spreading. Now, I really don't know what this means, if it has any reference to deflating the economy or whatever they're trying to try to do. But the main thing I want to bring up here is obviously they're doing something with Merlin. So this could make enchant relics either easier or harder to get. I don't know if they're going to make enchant relics more expensive. I don't know what their goal is with all of this stuff. So the main thing I would say is just go ahead and buy a bunch of enchant relics and make sure you have a ton, because you would rather be the guy that has too many than not enough of the enchant relics. I have way too many enchant relics, plenty of enchant relics. But if you don't know how to get enchant relics, you can head over to Sunstone Island, and this is where you can actually buy them. But again, we have no clue what's going to be in this next update. We just know it has something to do with Merlin, and obviously Merlin's the one that sells you enchant relics. So again, it is worth obviously taking a look at if you haven't already bought a bunch of these. And again, there is no guarantee. This could literally stay the exact same and you could still be able to buy it. But obviously we have no clue what this update's going to basically have in it. I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of expansion on Merlin, but again, we really have no clue. I'm going to check the leaks real quick. There probably isn't really that many leaks, to be honest. Now, there is something to note that was actually posted in the Discord server. It actually says, I believe this was posted on Sunday, so two days ago by one of the programmers for the game. We've been receiving unintelligible signals from an unknown source in outer space. We'll keep you updated as the week goes on. Now, I believe this was posted on Monday, if I'm correct. I could be wrong, and this could have been part of admin abuse, but it says November 9th, and November 9th was 2 days ago. So again, that would make sense that it may have something to do with aliens, but again, we really don't know too much. So the best thing that I can recommend, obviously, is abusing the aquariums, buying enchant relics because we don't know what's going to change. Really just buying up a lot of different stuff because we have no clue how much the economy is actually going to change in this next update. So honestly, I would recommend doing this. Make as much money as possible before the huge nerf up. And really, yeah, just do that, and hopefully you will have everything you need. I would recommend potentially buying Aurora totems and all the different types of totems. I have a lot of totems, but I may go stock up on a ton of the ones that are usually needed, like the smoke screen, sundial, like a bunch of these more used totems, because again, we have no clue what's coming in this update. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. That's all I have for you guys today. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We are on the road to 250,000 subscribers. Love to hit that by the end of the year. So if you guys did enjoy, obviously go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.